What's up, everybody? I'm Wesley, and today we're here to talk about a camera that just dropped. You've heard the rumors, you've seen the shield tuber reviews, it's official. Nikon's just undermined Canon's C50 and murked Sony's FX Lam with the Nikon ZR. This isn't just another mirrorless camera with good video specs. No, this is Nikon's first camera that comes out with their partnership with Red. They've created a video-centric camera at a price point that is truly special. So let's get into it. So what's under the hood of this thing? The Nikon ZR is built on the same 24.5 partially stacked full-frame sensor from the Z6 III that we're filming on today. Don't let that fool you though. It's not just a reskinned Z camera. The ZR is a video-first machine and the specs prove it. We're talking things like 60K at 60p, internal NRAW, internal red code RAW called R3DNE. It also supports internal ProRes RAW. I mean, it's got a host of other codecs too. It's giving you legendary red color science and compression, dynamic range in a tiny body. And speaking of dynamic range, we're talking about 15 plus stops with dual native ISOs at 800 and 6400 in the Red Log 3 G10 profile. That's incredible flexibility for a camera in this class. The back of the camera is also dominated by a humongous 4-inch 1000 nit articulating screen. Now I wish I had the Sony a7R5 fully articulating flippy and tilty screen, but the screen is going to be great for video-centric shooters, and that's what this camera is for. And you're not going to need an external monitor with a 4-inch screen. Even in bright sunlight, that bad boy is going to work. And let's get to the real meat of this 32-bit float audio that you can record internally on the digital hot shoe. Yes, this has a digital hot shoe, as well as just the mic jack. So you're not going to need one of these DJI mics to record that 32-bit, and then you have to sync it in post like I do here with this. You can record that sucker right on the lav mic straight into the camera, and you're going to have unclipped audio, no issue. So let's continue the conversation and talk about the pros here. You're getting Red Code RAW. This is a headline feature. You get Red's industry standard color science and codec in a compact, affordable package. Coming in at around $2,200, the price is another big pro. And this is in a world with tariffs.
The tariff bill, the Hawley-Smoot Tariff Act.
The ZR is an absolute steal for this, for what you're getting. It completely undercuts the direct competitors' offerings from Sony and Canon. It offers cinema level features at a price point that's far more accessible than ever before. And this is in a world, like I said, with tariffs. I can imagine this camera originally was slated to be at $2,000 or $1,999, and that's unbelievable. And then the 32-bit float we just talked about, recording incredible unclipped audio without any additional gear is a massive workflow improvement, especially for a solo shooter and someone who needs to get the videos out quickly. And then the screen, again, large, bright, accurate, built right into the camera. Game changer. Oh, something that Sony and Canon are forgetting: IBIS, Nikon's fantastic mechanical in-body image stabilization, rated at 7.5 stops, and that will help tremendously on handheld shots. Then there's a sport mode if you go into the panning shots. Now, there's always going to be trade-offs with a camera like this. Let's get into the cons, and you can start with the body design. It's similar to something like this Fuji here. It doesn't have a ton of grip, but that's okay. It's rectangular by shape for a reason. It's meant to be put in a cage. It's meant to be, kitted out for your video. So it's not going to be the most comfortable out of the box. I imagine that's not going to be most people's purposes. And then there's the micro HDMI port. I do not like this. The Z5 II has a micro HDMI port. Not a fan. I film mostly on the Z6 III, which has a full-size HDMI port, and I wish that this ZR had one as well. Is that going to stop me from getting it? No. I have both cables rigged up on my teleprompter here, and when I switch out to the Z5 II, I make sure I use the micro HDMI, and I have stress relief on it to prevent that port from getting damaged. Then there's no EVF, no electronic viewfinder. The big screen helps, but some shooters might miss an EVF, especially if you're going to try to use this for photo. But this is really not a photo-centric camera. It's meant to be kitted out, and that 4-inch screen is going to be worth the trade-off. Card slots, another thing that I found an issue with. Now, it does have a very, very fast Type B CF Express card, but the second card is a micro SD card, kind of like the ZF. And this is also a head scratcher, kind of like the ZF. Now, this isn't a photo first camera like the ZF, so video is going to take up a lot of bandwidth, a lot of speed. It needs that speed for the higher codecs, and I don't find the micro SD card going to be fast enough. That being said, the Sony ZV-E1, which is priced around $2,200, only has a single card slot. So it's better than nothing, right? All right, let's get into who this camera's for. Who is the Nikon ZR built for? I think it's built for basically almost every YouTuber. The ambitious, filmmaker who's starting out, someone who already has a RED system and wants to complement it with a B camera, something along those lines. I think this camera is going to be a fantastic option for a lot of those people. Someone like me who's starting a YouTube channel, rather than using my Z6 III and having it tied to my teleprompter, I'd probably rather have this. And I could also grow into something even bigger as I, tend to deal with my gas. Anyhow, I definitely think this is a great tool. It's meant to be rigged up, and it's going to be a serious production tool for a lot of videographers and aspiring videographers, especially with that low barrier to entry and the price. Let's talk about how it compares to the Canon C50 and the Sony FX3 and FX30. The ZR is going head to head with those heavy hitters, but priced at a much more competitive place. Now, on the specs, the Sony FX3 and FX30 have been compact camera powerhouses. The FX3 is a full frame 12 megapixel, I believe, and the FX30 is an APS-C body. The FX3 is great, but it costs nearly double the price of the ZR, and it cannot record internal RAW. So, yeah, the ZR's 32-bit float audio is a significant advantage over both of these cameras. And then the Canon C50 that was just announced, but it's double the price as well. And yeah, it has some good things like open gate, but it doesn't have IBIS, and it doesn't, like I said, it costs twice as much. So I don't know. I think the Nikon ZR is a compelling package, internal red code RAW at an incredible price. It's not playing in the same league. It's not playing in the same league as these other cameras. This Nikon, like I told you before in one of my other videos, they're trying to win, and they're being competitive, very competitive. And I cannot wait to see what else they got up their sleeve. I think the Nikon ZR is a bold and aggressive move. I think they've leveraged their acquisition of RED perfectly to create a genuinely groundbreaking camera. It's not perfect, of course. Micro HDMI needs to change on the next iteration, if you ask me. Card slots are a little funky, but internal RAW, 32-bit audio at this price, and especially Nikon's autofocus has gone a long way. So I'm just saying, I think this is a fantastic option, and I cannot wait to get my hands on one and really review it. This is a statement camera from Nikon. I'm excited, man. I haven't been excited about something like this in a while, like a few weeks. This is me we're talking about. So what do you think? Honestly, is this kind of camera you've been looking for? Is the ZR up your alley? What do you see wrong with it? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're excited about the camera as I am, hit the subscribe button. I really, really hope to get my hands on one when I get back from Japan and really put it through its paces. I use red LUTs, by the way, on every one of my videos, so I'm excited. I'm excited. All right, that's it. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.